Tom said he didn't want the cat. He said it the day his son's apartment was cleared out, the day Milo sat in the passenger seat of his truck in a carrier that had belonged to Ryan, on the way to a house that had been silent for 8 months. Tom told himself it was temporary. Milo had other plans. Tom Callahan didn't want the cat. He said it clearly the same afternoon his daughter-in-law called and asked what to do with him. Ryan's apartment needed to be cleared out. The lease was ending. There were boxes to sort, furniture to donate, a life to quietly dismantle one room at a time. "I'll find someone to take him," Tom said. "He was Ryan's," she said. "I thought maybe you'd want—" "I'll find someone," Tom said. He drove to the apartment the following Saturday. He told himself he was there for the boxes. He worked through the bedroom first, then the kitchen, then the small living room where Ryan had kept a second-hand couch and a bookshelf full of paperbacks he had been meaning to read. Milo was on the couch when Tom walked in. Dark tabby, long fur, green gold eyes. 13 pounds. He looked at Tom the way cats look at people they haven't decided about yet. Steady, unhurried, waiting. Tom looked back. "I'm not keeping you," Tom said. Milo blinked once and looked away. Tom spent 4 hours in that apartment. When he left, Milo was in the passenger seat of his truck in a carrier that had belonged to Ryan, on his way to a house that hadn't had a living thing in it for 8 months. Tom told himself it was temporary. Tom was 44 years old and had been a long-haul truck driver for 19 years. He was not a man who talked about things. He was a man who drove, who showed up, who fixed what needed fixing, and didn't ask for much in return. Ryan had been 19. A car accident on a Tuesday night in October. Black ice, a curve he had driven 100 times. A moment that lasted less than a second and changed everything that came after. 8 months later, Tom was still getting up at 5 a.m. out of habit, still making 2 cups of coffee before he remembered, still reaching for his phone sometimes in the evening before he caught himself. He didn't talk about it, not to his sister, who called every Sunday, not to the grief counselor his doctor had recommended twice, not to anyone. He drove. He came home, he sat in the house that was too quiet and watched television he couldn't tell you anything about, and went to bed at 10 p.m. because there was nothing else to do. That was the shape of his days, until Milo. The first week, Tom fed him and ignored him. Milo did not seem bothered by this arrangement. He explored the house methodically, room by room, the way cats do when they are deciding which parts of a new place belong to them. The kitchen counter, the armchair by the window, the hallway outside the spare bedroom. He stopped at the spare bedroom door for a long time on the second day. Tom watched from the hallway. Milo looked at the door, then he looked at Tom, then he sat down in front of it and didn't move. Tom opened the door. He hadn't been in that room since he'd brought Ryan's boxes home. They were stacked against the wall, sealed, labeled in his daughter-in-law's handwriting. The bed was made. The curtains were closed. Milo walked in slowly. He jumped onto the bed, turned in a circle, and lay down. Tom stood in the doorway for a long time. Then he turned off the light and went back to the kitchen. He didn't sleep well that night, but that wasn't new. By the end of week 2, a pattern had formed without Tom deciding it. Every night around 9 p.m., Milo would get up from wherever he was, walk down the hallway, and go into Ryan's room. He would stay there for an hour, sometimes 2. Then he would come back, find Tom on the couch, and settle beside him without asking. Tom started waiting for it. Not consciously, but he noticed when it was 9:15 and Milo hadn't moved yet. He noticed when Milo came back and the weight of him against his leg was the first thing that had felt normal all day. He didn't say anything about it. There was no one to say anything to. But one night, about 3 weeks in, Tom followed him. He stood in the doorway of Ryan's room and watched Milo on the bed, sitting perfectly still in the dark, and something in his chest that had been locked for 8 months made a sound he wasn't ready for. He sat down on the floor in the doorway. Milo looked at him. Tom looked at Milo. "I don't know what I'm doing," Tom said. It was the first honest sentence he had said out loud since October. Milo got up, walked to the edge of the bed closest to Tom and lay down with his chin resting on his front paws, watching him. They stayed like that for a long time. I see you're still watching but haven't subscribed yet. That honestly stings a little. Hit subscribe. You'll want to see where this goes. The nights in the doorway became a habit. Not every night, but often enough. Tom would sit on the floor, back against the frame, and Milo would be on the bed. And sometimes Tom would talk, and sometimes he wouldn't. He talked about small things at first. The drive he had done that week, a diner outside Memphis where the coffee was still good, a song that had come on the radio that Ryan used to play too loud on Sunday mornings. Milo never moved when Tom talked. He would watch him with his green gold eyes, completely still, the way he had watched Tom that first day in the apartment. Steady, unhurried, waiting. Tom's sister called on a Sunday 6 weeks after Milo arrived. "How are you?" she asked. She always asked. He always said fine. This time he said, "I've been talking to the cat." A pause. "Ryan's cat?" "Yeah." Another pause. Then, quietly, "What do you talk about?" "Ryan," Tom said, mostly. His sister didn't say anything for a moment. When she spoke again, her voice was different. "Can I come visit?" she said. Tom looked at Milo, who was sitting on the kitchen counter watching him make coffee. "Yeah," Tom said. "You can come visit." His sister came the following weekend. She sat at the kitchen table and cried in a way Tom hadn't let himself cry yet, and Milo climbed into her lap within 4 minutes and stayed there the entire afternoon. "He does that," Tom said. "He's Ryan's," she said. "Yeah," Tom said. "He is." That night, after she left, Tom sat in the doorway of Ryan's room for a long time. Milo was on the bed. The boxes were still against the wall, still sealed. Tom reached over and opened one. He didn't sort through it, he just opened it, left it open. It was enough for one night. Today, the boxes are unpacked. The room looks like a room again. There are photographs on the shelf and a jacket on the chair and a paperback on the nightstand left open to the page Ryan had been reading. Milo still goes in every night around 9 p.m. Tom still follows him sometimes. They don't stay as long as they used to. That's not a bad thing. Tom still drives long haul, still gets up at 5 a.m., makes 1 cup of coffee now most mornings. He talks to his sister every Sunday. Sometimes he talks to the grief counselor too. He's not sure it helps exactly, but he goes. Milo is on the passenger seat on shorter runs. Tom bought him a proper carrier, a good one. He didn't want the cat. The cat didn't ask what he wanted. Some losses are too heavy to carry alone, and sometimes the thing that sits with you in the dark, patient, quiet, asking nothing, is exactly what gets you back to the door. Did a pet help you through something you couldn't talk about? Tell me in the comments.